Question number 156. Among the following, which bone is not a part of pelvic girdle? And the options are ilium, clavicle, pubis and ischium. And the correct answer to this question is option number 2, clavicle, because clavicle is a part of pectoral girdle. And not pelvic girdle. On the other hand, ilium, pubis and ischium are the parts of pelvic girdle. As you can see here, ilium, pubis and ischium forms the pelvic girdle. This is a right pelvic girdle in which all these bones are present, ilium, pubis and ischium. So these cannot be the correct answer, and the correct answer to this question is option number 2. Let's discuss our next question. Question number 157. Lateral ventricles of human brain are connected to third ventricle by, and third ventricle is connected with fourth ventricle by respectively. Select the option which fill the blanks correctly. And the options are foramen of Monro and Iter, foramen of Lashka and foramen of Monro, foramen of Megendie and foramen of Magnum, Iter and foramen of Monro. And the correct answer to this question is option number 1, foramen of Monro and Iter. As you can see here, Iter, which is also known as aqueduct of Sylvius, connects third ventricle with fourth ventricle. This is third ventricle, and this aqueduct connects third ventricle with fourth ventricle. So third ventricle is connected by cerebral aqueduct or aqueduct of Sylvius or Iter in midbrain to the fourth ventricle in pons and medulla, whereas lateral ventricles of human brain are connected to third ventricle by foramen of Monro. Let's discuss rest of the options. The next option is foramen of Lashka and foramen of Monro, foramen of Megendie and foramen of Magnum, and these are the incorrect options because 3 openings on the roof of the fourth ventricle, that is a pair of lateral apertures called foramen of Lashka, which is here, and a median aperture called foramen of Megendie allows cerebral spinal fluid to move upwards into the subarachnoid space that surrounds brain and spinal cord. So this foramen of Lashka and foramen of Megendie are present on the fourth ventricle. So these cannot be a correct answer. And the last option is Iter and foramen of Monro, and this cannot be a correct answer because foramen of Monro connects lateral ventricles to the third ventricle. So the correct answer to this question is option number 1. Let's discuss our next question. Question number 158. Sympathetic nervous system does not inhibit secretion of, and the options are gastric juice, saliva, pancreatic juice and sweat. And the correct answer to this question is option number 4, sweat. Because sympathetic nervous system stimulates perspiration. It inhibits the secretion of glands associated with digestion. So it will inhibit the secretion of gastric juice, saliva and pancreatic juice. So these cannot be the correct answers, but it stimulates perspiration or sweating. So the correct answer to this question is option number 4. Let's discuss our next question. Question number 159. Choose the incorrect match. And the very first match given is blind spot, and the match is area on the sclera at which photoreceptor cells are absent. And as it is an incorrect match, so this is a correct answer to our question. Because area on retina and not sclera. Area on retina at which photoreceptor cells are absent is called blind spot. The next match given is aqueous chamber, and the match is space between the cornea and the lens. And as it is a correct match, so this cannot be a correct answer to our question. As you can see here, this aqueous chamber is present between lens and cornea. The next match given is choroid, and the match is highly vascular layer that appears bluish in color. This line is also given in your NCERT book, and as it is a correct statement, this cannot be a correct answer to our question. Because choroid, which is a middle layer of eyeball, is highly vascular layer and appears blue in color. The last match given is retina, and the match is consists of photopigment cells and neurons. And as it is also a correct match, so this cannot be a correct answer to our question. Because retina, which is the innermost layer of eyeball, photopigment cells or photoreceptor cells called rods and cones, and bipolar neurons. So the correct answer to this question is option number 1. Let's discuss our next question. Question number 160. Read the following statements. Statement A. Endocrine glands are ductless and release their secretion into the venous blood. And this is a true statement because endocrine glands are ductless. On the other hand, exocrine glands are ducted glands. Hormones are the secretion of endocrine glands and they are poured into venous blood. From there, they are transported to target tissues, which also takes time to respond. So second option, statement B, that endocrine system is slower than nervous system in terms of coordination and regulation is also a correct statement, because hormones which are secreted from endocrine glands, they are transported to target tissues through blood, which also take time to respond. So second statement is also correct. Now choose the correct option, and the very first option is both statements are correct, and as it is a correct option, so this is a correct answer to our question. Next option is both statements are incorrect, and this cannot be a correct answer because both statements are correct. Statement A is incorrect but B is correct. This cannot be a correct answer, and statement B is incorrect is also an incorrect option. So the correct answer to this question is option number 1. Let's discuss our next question.